welcome back to my channel. So I am excited to be back this week because holy shit, this episode this week, it was a little scandalous. I went into this week telling myself I am not gonna talk about Corinne the entire time, but like, it's just so hard not to. That girl is a little bit of a floozy. All right guys, let's get started. So we left off with Nick sending Liz home. He just didn't feel that connection with her. Listen, Liz, you had your chance 9 months ago. Right now is not the time. Timing is everything, and you gotta go. Nick explains to the girls exactly what happened. He admits that he had sex with her 9 months ago, and all of the girls seem pretty understanding. I think because Nick was so honest about it and didn't hold back anything at that moment, they were all okay, especially because he did send her home. It'd be one thing if he kept her and then was like, hey girls, listen, I gotta tell you something. Liz here, we had sex, and she's gonna stay. Compete with that. I'm pretty sure the girls would have been pissed, and probably a bunch of them would have said like, bye Nick. So Corinne says that she has something up her sleeve. She said that she's not mad at Nick, but she's pissed that someone else had sex with him before her. Does that surprise you? She's wearing this trench coat, which I'm pretty sure she doesn't have anything underneath. Which, okay, let's be honest, I think all of the girls and Nick saw her boobs already, but I mean, come on. Put some clothes on. So she pulls Nick aside. She has a whipped cream can and she sprays it in his mouth. She sprays it on her boob, wants him to lick it off. I mean, come on. You really don't care about what we all think of you right now. Yes, Nick's a guy. He's probably enjoying it to some extent. However, he's got cameras on him. So I feel like Nick's uncomfortable. Like, hey, yeah, I mean, this is every guy's fantasy, right? Like some chick all over you, basically trying to get you into bed like yesterday. But come on, like you're here to meet your wife. This is not wife material. She is not wife material, at least right now. They don't end on such a great note, and Corinne immediately leaves and starts crying. She feels like it all backfired on her, and she just feels like she really screwed up. Here's the thing. Corinne already has a rose, which doesn't mean that you shouldn't try, but it also means chill the F out. Now it's time for the rose ceremony, and guess who is missing? Corinne. She's sleeping. That girl needs her beauty sleep. Apparently tonight was too much stress for her, so she's in bed. There were 3 girls that went home, Haley, Lacey, and to be honest, I don't even remember the other chick's name. If you guys remember the other chick's name, let me know in the comment section down below. Now it's time for the group date, and the girls that are going on the group date are Danielle, Kristen, Christina, Whitney, Taylor, Jasmine, and Corinne. All of a sudden, Backstreet Boys come into the room and let them know that they are going to do something with them in front of 500 people. Who else was singing along with them in this group date? On the group date, they are going to perform as the backup dancers for a concert. Corinne is super nervous because she says she's not a dancer, so she is hiding herself in the back. Let me just say that Danielle and Jasmine are killing it. They look so good doing it. Corinne's crying in the bathroom. She hasn't been able to talk to Nick about what had happened the night before, and she says that she's such a bad dancer that she couldn't feel more awkward in her situation. So there was a challenge within this group date. Whoever was it they danced the best or just felt like they saw the connection the best? I'm sorry, I don't remember. But whoever Backstreet Boys picked, they were going to dance with Nick without anyone else on stage while they sang. So they were going to serenade them. And Danielle gets picked. I kind of knew she was. It was definitely between her and Jasmine. They were amazing. So Danielle's dancing with Nick. Corinne's in the background just like giving her this evil eye. She's so pissed. So now that part of the group date is finished, and of course Corinne pulls Nick aside first. She's got to talk to Nick. She's got to just clear the air. She apologizes for what she did the night before, and Nick says, you know what, don't worry about it. Clearly Nick is thinking with his rather than his. Danielle pulls him aside and tells him that she can see herself falling in love with him. They start making out again, and it looks like they're building a strong connection. Corinne falls asleep on the couch and I guess wakes up and says to the girls that she wishes Raquel was here. No one knows who the hell Raquel is, and she proceeds to tell all the girls that she has a nanny back home. Of course, when you hear the word nanny, you think like, oh, well, maybe you have kids. Nope. As you guys know, Corinne has a nanny for herself. Raquel apparently makes her breakfast, makes her coffee, makes her lunch, does her laundry. Corinne says that she cannot live without Raquel. I gotta be honest, guys, I would think that is such a turnoff to any guy there is on this planet. I would never ever admit that on national television. Would you? In the end though, Danielle ends up getting the group date rose. They had more of a connection than anyone else during that group date, so she deserved it. Now, for the one-on-one date, Vanessa gets the one-on-one date. Now, I did have some people after my first recap say to me, no talk about Vanessa? What the hell? I didn't think she stood out to me. I was not that excited about her. I actually didn't really even remember who she was. But I take it all back. Nick's and Vanessa's connection, undeniable. Wow. I feel like I was living through them. They had the most incredible one-on-one date. So they started off in an airplane with zero gravity. Basically, they were experiencing what astronauts experience up in space, but in a plane. So they were floating in the plane, kissing. Let me just say, while I was watching them kiss, which Nick had said all he wanted to do was kiss Vanessa, that was such an amazing photo op. I can only imagine the type of pictures they got. I mean, that picture is basically the picture you'd want as like your Facebook profile photo. Damn, it was unlike no other, I'll tell you that. That date though kind of turned south a little bit because that poor girl got so sick. She was extremely nauseous, started puking. I feel like if I were on The Bachelor, that shit would happen to me. I can just imagine I would get sick and be vomiting the entire day. It didn't stop Nick though because he was just rubbing her, kissing her, loving her, making sure she was feeling okay, telling her that there was no one else that he'd rather be with. Guys, I think you need to take a page out of Nick's book right now. That is the kind of stuff we want. Are you listening? They're finally out of the plane. She seems to have gotten herself together. She's not sick anymore. They go to dinner where she tells Nick that 3 weeks before she came on the show, her grandpa passed away. And she had questioned whether she should be on the show or not because of the death in her family. And I guess as she was in the limo leaving the funeral, each one of the family members got this red rose. And she felt like that was kind of her sign that her grandpa would be with her through this process. And I felt that was so heartfelt of her. And Nick's face, I see the way that he's already looking at her and I'm like, ugh. Nick, can you just get rid of every girl right now and just pick Vanessa? Nick opens up about Andy, says that he's scared to be on this season because he has had his heart broken twice. He starts getting teary-eyed, tells her though that he feels like he is so optimistic about this process after this date with her. I mean, come on. Let's just say bye to the other 16 girls and be done with it. You guys are like soulmates. Anyone else feel this? Needless to say, I am Team Vanessa right now, 100%. Already. That's it. Now it's time for the last group date, and the girls going on the date are going to be Rachel, Alexis, Astrid, Jamie, Sarah, Brittany, and Dominique. They all meet at a track where there are Olympic athletes. They're going to put them through some track and field challenges because I guess Nick grew up doing track and field. The three girls that had the best results were Rachel, Alexis, and Astrid. Now, they put them through a last challenge where they have to run and get this big, oversized engagement ring, and whoever can grab it first can go straight to the jacuzzi where they get a little bit of extra time with Nick. I feel so bad for Rachel because she was the first one to almost grab that ring. That ring drops, and what do you know? The last person, who is Astrid, picks up that ring and goes straight to Nick. So as we know, Astrid gets a little bit more one-on-one time with Nick, and now we find out that Dominique is pissed. She feels like she's being overlooked by him and is not getting the attention that the rest of the girls are getting. And she feels like she needs to confront Nick. She first goes to Rachel and is talking to Rachel about it. And Rachel just says that you're getting too much in your head and that you don't need to be worried about the other girls. You need to just worry about you and Nick. Totally agree with you. She pulls Nick aside where she tells him that she's not getting the fair chance, that Nick needed to see that she wasn't okay and needed to ask her what was going on and how he could help. Listen, girl, he's got 6 other girls that are fighting for his attention. If you aren't jumping up and down half naked, then you're probably not going to be noticed as much. Sorry to be that harsh, but Nick wasn't feeling it. Nick basically said that he already has connections with other girls and he just doesn't see whatever they have going on lasting. He says bye and lets her go. Nick ends up giving the group date rose to Rachel. Woo! 2 of my favorite girls getting that rose this week. Nick decides that he doesn't want to do a cocktail party. He wants to do a pool party, and what a shit show that was. Dominique is basically kissing his entire body. Raven is lathering his entire body with SPF in a very sexual way. And what do you know? Corinne has something else up her sleeve. She pulls Nick aside and takes him to a bouncy house where they are bouncing and being playful and fun, which is something Nick really likes in a girl. He tells us he likes that she always wants to have fun. Yet, that fun, of course, turned into something super sexual. I am not convinced they didn't have sex in the bouncy house. She was mounting him, kissing him. All of the girls can see it. Nick, that doesn't look good on your part. You have got to let this girl go. I guarantee you, if it doesn't work out with whoever you pick, she will be first runner-up to have sex with you. Like I said, all of the girls saw it. They all decide that they need to pull Nick aside and say something. First, Raven pulls him aside. Then, it's Dominique pulling him aside, questioning him. Then, it's Jordan pulling him aside and questioning him. And then, Vanessa, my favorite girl, pulls him aside, which I totally get. If I were her, I would have already been packing up my shit and been like, bye, Nick. See you later. Have fun. How can you honestly just go and let Corinne manipulate you? You know she's only there for the fame. Nick, don't make me hate you. So that is it for this week's recap. I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me every single week. I have so much fun doing these with you guys. As always, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. I would love to gossip with you guys about Vanessa and Corinne and some of the other girls that you think are a potential match for Nick. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Make sure you like this video and share this video with all of your other friends that are big Bachelor, Bachelorette fans. All right, guys, I will see you guys all next week. Bye.